tonight, it seems I'm tangled up in you, tangled up in you. I can't seem to shake you, baby. I can't seem to shake you, baby. I swear tomorrow that I'll give you up, and I will save the sorrow for when we wake up. But for tonight, it seems I'm tangled up in you, tangled up in you, tangled up in you, tangled up in you, tangled up in you.
That's right, and we're back live on Chicano Tube, live on Chicano Street. Do me a favor, beautiful Linda Raza. Go ahead and take a moment, just a second, to go ahead and hit that like button as you're coming in. Hit that subscribe. We're gonna go through some formalities, and we'll bring in Norbeez in the house again, getting this shit going on. Happy 2025 again. Shit, I'm still saying that. I appreciate all the birthday wishes too. Before we get to the formalities, you guys, yesterday 44 calendars, boom. You know, I appreciate the birthday gift, and Miss Chicano Tube appreciates all the likes, hearts, and all that shit, man. We really do, man. So gracias to you guys for that. Let's go ahead and go through the formalities. We got a lot to talk about. To be honest, I don't even know if we're gonna get through all this shit, man. There's so much popping right now on the YouTube yarda. I mean, this shit is popping, man. We got the most poppinest genre in all of YouTube, in my opinion, because you got these pendejos that fucking don't even live here, and they're talking about us and shit. They must be cow tipping over there where they're at. But anyways, gracias all the day oneers. Gracias to everyone inside the members only. The members only know who they are, man. The members only is the backbone of the community. They enjoy all the content creators series of fighting peleas. Right now, I'm actually working on a bare knuckle. I'm putting it out there. I put it this morning in my video. Drex, well, actually in Chenate with Chicano too, but Drex getting into Rex. We'll talk about that tonight as well. But I let everyone know this morning I'm working on a bare knuckle one. I basically already got 2 verbals, and we're just looking at a date right now. So if that's the first bare knuckle fight that we have on content creator series of fighting, well, this is some man shit anyways. This is some alpha shit anyways. This ain't no pussy shit. If you're looking for that, just keep it moving to maybe the banda world, you know what I mean? Or some shit like that. But anyways. Gracias to everyone in the members only. Gracias to all the Chicano channels. And gracias to all the Chicano pages and everyone, man, that's been here since day one. I see Jenny Selby, La Chicana from San Diego. I see you in the comments section. She's a day oneer. Leo M, Cesar Macias, everyone that's there. All right, all the Chicano channels, all the Chicano pages. Without further ado, man, let me go ahead and bring in the man with the master plan, crashing out with Norbeez.
Hey, what's up, everybody?
¿Cómo estás, cabrón?
I'm good, man. I'm good. I'm enjoying the day. It's been good. It's been good. We've here in LA, we're having a pretty good day. You know, the winds weren't too strong, and the firefighters were able to contain more of the fires out here.
I do want to get to that. You already know that's obviously been at the top of the news, cabron. But what have you been shooting, way?
Huh?
You been shooting anything?
I've been shooting. As far as let's see. I did have a photo shoot with Ese Das from Spanish Fly. So look out for that. If you see his album cover, maybe my picture will be there. I don't know. Aside from that, I've also been in the I don't know if I mentioned that, but I was also at a video shoot for MC Peps.
Mm,
He did a new song that's I don't know if it came out yet, but that video was actually shot by OG Pamps. He's pretty well known out here for making the music videos, and he does a great job at doing it. Aside from that, let's see. Also, Freaky Tales with Tony A. I am
that's
I
right.
am also shooting that. Shout out Tony A. Shout out MC
Shout out to
Pep.
Tony A.
Shout out to Marvelous because we haven't done the Marvelous last week. We couldn't make it the last week, but we're gonna try to push this week. Um, Projects everywhere.
There's projects, there's work everywhere. Did you hear the announcement? We're gonna go ahead and launch a Miss Chicano tube. Well, she's not even gonna be known as that no more. We only we're gonna know her that in this universe, in this little piece of bubble of YouTube. But she's gonna go ahead and launch what she's always been asked for a lot of years, even during COVID, when everyone tenía que quedar en la casa, the online photography training.
Oh yeah. That I think you mentioned that.
I've been mentioning. I've been
Yeah,
trying to
right.
put
You've
it
been
in
mentioning that, right?
as much as possible. So that's going to be on and cracking. You guys, she really has a heart to help the people. She holds nothing back. Nada. Okay. So, and if you want to, she's not going to be answering questions in the comments. She'll be too busy for that, but she'll be looking at your questions maybe for future content. So anyways, let's go ahead and get it started, Norbeez. But before we get into anything, I also want to make another announcement. I guess a second or third one. We're having this Friday night an immigration town hall meeting.
That's great, man. We definitely need something like that going on.
Let's bring every voice to the table. Okay, because and then obviously we know what's happening on Monday. Okay, maybe some people look at Monday as the beginning of prosperity, right? Some people look at Monday as the beginning of doomsday. I don't know.
I mean, changes are happening. Changes are happening.
So the immigration town hall is for anyone and everyone to join. You don't have to join via video. You could join via audio. It might be a little bit kind of clubhouse-ish. You know,
Yeah.
we'll see what we can do to regulate that. I do got mute buttons, mute them all and all
Yeah.
that. So we'll try to organize this somewhat. But this is something that's been trending a lot, Norbeez, and we might as well just get into it right now.
Let's go.
Let's go, man. Let's go. So the ICE raids. Norbeez.
Yes. Yes.
I want to go ahead and let me share a screen. And I want to get your opinion on what's been going on, man, because ICE is now at work. And some people are saying the situation, it's a little bit grimy now because we got the LA fires cracking. And it's just not a good time. So people are saying it's not a good time to be throwing people inside of a van. We'll get to that. I know people get offended. Soy Chicano. I'm gonna give it to you straight from the fucking corazon. No filter. It just is what it is. But let's trip out what they're talking about.
Unfortunately, one of our tickets did get canceled because it was an immigrant family who had to move away from their home because ICE was checking in on them. And that's so sad. You got this. So, as an immigration nonprofit, I also want to say that in times of crisis, ICE tends to show up and try to deport individuals because our communities are busy and worried about something else. So just a reminder to that we need to make sure that we come together these next 4 years because we're going to hear more about those stories, and to directly hear that and witness that and be in contact with a family that literally just left and had abandoned their donation, so the driver had to come back, is really sad. So we do expect more of that and more of those stories. So if you guys please, every time we ask for community help to come together on social media, especially, it really does create public interest. And a lot of you guys don't know, but creating public interest around an immigration case is important because then authorities will most likely release individuals when a story is getting too much attention. And that's how we can protect each other, to make sure that somebody or a family feels supported by community.
Okay, Norris, did you hear that? So the LA fire is obviously a sensitive situation, man.
Definitely.
It's a sensitive situation. We're going to get into a couple other people made some comments about the LA fires, which I'm going to be mentioning.
Yeah.
What do you think about ICE pulling up to shelters, to churches that people are staying at and doing what they do?
Well, I'm not too surprised. I mean, the fact that Biden and Harris decided to sneak in this little policy here where it allows ICE to come inside more into the country a lot further than they're allowed. I mean, it says a lot about what's going on. And ICE, I low key, I don't think everybody in ICE is against us, but it sure seems like they are, because I don't see them going to the Chinese neighborhoods picking up anybody. I don't see them going to the African neighborhoods to pick up anybody. I don't see them going to Koreatown to pick up anybody. They just go to where our people are at. So it definitely seems like there's a specific type of people that they want out. And when Biden and Harris signed a way to allow this to happen, because they're not supposed to be that deep into the country, yet they're here now, and I can see by the looks of it, their plan is to interrupt our food source when Trump comes into office, because by scaring the pickers, they're also going to slow down productivity. And who's really going to get hurt by that? It's going to be the farmers. It's going to be us, because look, we already saw how egg prices went up, right? Now imagine fruits and vegetables going up also. I think this is definitely a case where they're trying to make it harder on Trump, at the same time fuck with us. And it's a very sensitive situation. And I say this because we're in that same situation we were back then when Cesar Chavez was doing the union stuff, in the sense where a lot of us, Raza, are going to start, going against each other. You might even hear some Raza say, yeah, we don't need those wetbacks here. They need to go back to Mexico. Obviously, because it's only Mexicans that are coming in, you know? So it's a very sensitive time, because we can't repeat the same mistakes we did back then. Cesar Chavez mistake was to divide us in a way where he wanted to protect his workers. And there's nothing wrong with that. I can't hate him on that, but I can't disagree on the fact that he created a division between raza by, making immigrants look like the bad guy, when in fact he should have been working together hand in hand with them and become an even more powerful group. But he chose a different path, and a lot of people love him for that, but a lot of people don't like him for what he did also.
I want to shed light on one key thing you just said right there that I don't think gets mentioned enough, cabron. There are people that want to live where me and you are living, right? They want the benefits of right here. They would love all these rumors that are happening of zero tax income and zero tax on Social Security, zero tax on overtime. They want all these benefits, right?
Yeah.
And at the same time, they're willing to blow the fucking shit up, hate el país, damage it, because who they didn't get into office.
Yeah. And I see that a lot. And then those are the people that they're the ones that I'm looking at, like, how far are you gonna go and how much are you gonna turn your back on raza?
Damn it. Norbeez, if you lost your pinchy fire, if you lost your house in this fire, would you be happy with the US president telling you he's gonna send you $770?
Oh, the stimmy, huh? Well, I do want to say one thing about that, because I know he did say before that he was going to cover 100% of the cleanup, as far as for the people and with that their house burnt. I don't know if that's still on the table, if he took that off and he just decided to give $700 to everybody. It's a tough call for me to see, because I know he said that a few days before. He said that whole stimmy $700 thing, and he did say that the federal government was going to cover the cleanup. And I know he said that because a lot of people that were in other areas in the country that did have natural disasters only got like what $175. You recall that? They only got about $175 to help them. Oh, yeah. And they also had to go through a process to see if they could even get a loan by the feds to get help to rebuild.
So what do you think about getting 700 bolas? What is that going to do right now?
I mean, if that's something that they're going to get instantly just to get, the essentials, I mean, it's California. Also, 700 is not going to go too far as essentials either.
But I'm talking about in comparison to this is the largest asset that most people will ever own in their lifetime, which is a home. That's that's most people's largest asset. Let's say over 90%, right?
Oh yeah, I mean they're gonna have a
comparison to $700. That's not a slap in the face.
I mean, like I said, I'm not too sure if that's all he's going to do because, like I said, he did say before that he was going to cover the cleanup. And as far as I know, when it comes to insurance, the cleanup is also going to get taken out of the insurance, which isn't going to leave you a whole lot more room for your insurance to cover rebuilding because they also have to cover the cleanup. I don't know if that's the thing, but from what I hear, you got to use your insurance wisely also. If you could get your cleanup somewhere cheaper and pay for yourself, that's probably better because you'll end up with more money from your actual insurance to rebuild.
I did insurance for a little bit. I did insurance for less than like about 3 years, 4 years. And what I do know is that home insurance, the deductible is high as hell. First of all, it's not a car deductible. It's not 500. It's not 1,000. It's actually a percentage. It could be 5%. It could be 10. It could be 15%, which is a chunk of change. It's a chunk of cash. Some people always used to ask me, is it cheaper to rebuild or buy new? And it is actually more cost effective to rebuild, but there is a lot of red tape. So you were going to go through a process, and I mean permit after permit after permit to rebuild. Now they do got to go through the disaster cleanup to clean that up. But when I saw that, and then I saw hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of millions of dollars going overseas again on a handshake, it almost seems like it's America last.
It is America last. Ever since the Democrats have taken over, it's always been America last.
And so, that is a slap in the face. Other people are saying, they're coming up with the conspiracies now or theories. It's a theory because it might get proven true, just like the Catholic Church. All that estaban tocando niños. That was a conspiracy theory until it got proven true. Come on, let's keep that a buck. But people are saying, Norbeez, that this could have been a land grab for all of those casas on the strip of Malibu and all of those casas to be a developer land grab, like they were saying they were going to do in Lahaina, Hawaii. Well, they'll buy the whole shit, make it all condos, expensive as hell condos, and they just banked major feria out of these huge square footage homes that families of 5 or 6 are taking. Which it's no one has the right to tell you where the hell how to live.
Yeah, of course not. No.
Whether I'm in a 1-bedroom or whether I want to be in a fucking mansion. But what do you think about those? They're scorching it for a land grab.
I definitely wouldn't say that that's going on in Pacific Palisades because all those people have a lot of money, like a lot. Like it's insane how much money those people have. I would say definitely for Altadena, and I say Altadena because Altadena and the Pasadena area, most people don't know, but it has a very big Black and brown community over there. And a lot of them lost their homes over there. A lot of them were, I would say, inheritance also played a part, but a lot of them don't have the money to rebuild. and some of them might have not even had the insurance to cover
Mm.
it. So I definitely would say it could be a land grab there, because a lot of the people there, they don't have the funds to rebuild. So what are they going to do? They're going to have to sell. Hopefully the feds do take care of them, and those communities can come back, because in Pasadena and Altadena, it's not all European Americans. It's there's a lot of raza out there, and a lot of blacks out there also, and I think they're the ones that got hit pretty hard also. So I'm more worried about them, not too much about Pacific Palisades, because for one, that area belongs to the city of LA. So LA is going to make sure to take care of them. I mean, a lot of their big players have their homes over there. They're going to make sure they're taken care of. I mean, I don't know if you saw, but when Kamala Harris's home was almost about to get burned down also, they sent tons of helicopters to make sure to put out that fire. Like one after another, after another, after another. I was like, wow, they really don't want our neighborhood to go up in flames.
Or is that
why didn't they do that for Pacific Palisades?
Is that privilege?
Huh? Oh, yeah, that's definitely privilege. I mean, it was just a little piece that was burning up, but oh my God, the amount of helicopters that flew over there throwing water, it was a wrap. That they made sure her neighborhood was not in danger. But I would say one thing, because I did hear a comedian, talk shit about people that are criticizing them. I think it's Bill Burr. And I thought it was funny because he said somewhere in the lines where he was thanking the public officials, they did a great job. And he decided that he wanted to talk shit about the criticizers and say, oh, well, all of a sudden, all of you guys are fire experts. All of a sudden, you guys know what's going on, how to do all these things. And then he said, not realizing that there were 100-mile winds and helicopters couldn't get through. Did you ever consider that? And he was just talking a lot of shit like that. But I'm thinking here, bro, I'm in LA too. Those winds weren't blowing 24 hours a day either. So for you to say that, oh, there's 100-mile winds, these helicopters couldn't go at all. No, that wasn't going on 24 hours a day. There were parts of the day where they could have done that and they didn't. So when he says, oh, all these criticizers are dumbasses and stupid because they don't know what the fuck they're talking, like, bro, you don't know what you're talking about either. You're making up excuses for the public officials, trying to say we had 100-mile-per-hour winds all day for 3 days, and not one helicopter could get through. I thought that was bullshit that he said that. He's usually good at talking back at people and correcting people, but I definitely think Bill Burr definitely dropped the ball on this one, and he should have thought twice about the way he came at LA people, because the ones that are criticizing our public officials the most are LA people.
Oh yeah, they're the ones immediately impacted by everything. I wanted to bring this up on my screen. Have you you do know the actor Richard Cabral?
Yes, I do.
Okay, so he doesn't post, man. He posts like once a year. He's up and coming. And
he's been around for a lot of years.
Been around for a lot of years, and Altadena was where he laid his head, and he posted these images. He said, words cannot explain what it is to see everything you've owned burned away. Within 4 hours of evacuating, this is what happened. Be safe. And then he tagged 2 people on there. Man. And then they set up a GoFundMe. So yeah, they set up a GoFundMe. Yeah. I was trying to find the GoFundMe, but I thought, man, you said there's a black and brown community over there in Altadena, close by the Palisades. Now, you're talking about the Palisades que tienen dinero, cabrón. Tienen dinero, they have money.
Yeah, bro. They got the $1 million foundations. I don't know if you know what that is, right?
They're just little nest eggs of money, cabrón.
No. The foundation that they're required to have to build their homes on those hills costs about $1 million. Sometimes the foundation costs even more than the house itself, because they have to pile on tons of cement and concrete in there, so the house doesn't slip and fall.
That whole probably neighborhood, all those areas are probably governed by like a homeowners association where you can't just get in there if you got the money to get in there.
Yeah, no, you're right. Because as far as I know, Beverly Hills, in certain parts of LA, you can't list any of your homes for sale. It has to get approved by the whole community, and then they could only be sold to specific people. I mean, rich people. But
so Norbeez, if there's funds being raised for the fires, right? Again, centered in Palisades. They say there's multiple fires now, but the one everyone's talking about is the one in Palisades. That seemed to be the scorcher, like you said. All of a sudden, the winds came and just blew out of the ocean, and it spread from hundreds of acres to thousands of acres.
Yeah,
that's crazy. I don't even know how much it is contained right now, but they're asking for donations for the Palisades fire. Someone said on YouTubelandia, it was another podcast, and they said, but if it was the hood, if it was the ghetto in LA, Norbeez, would people from the Palisades donate to be able to restore an old barrio or an old neighborhood? What do you think about that?
No, they wouldn't. No, they wouldn't. 100% they wouldn't. I mean, as far as I've seen, we've had that neighborhood that got blown up by LAPD. I didn't see anybody from Pacific Palisades saying, "Oh, I'm sorry, your home got blown up by the cops. Here's some dollars to help repair your home." So that neighborhood has to sue the city so they can recover their damages because of the LAPD. So no, I don't think Pacific Palisades would, come through and help out the hood. I mean, as far as I know, those people still haven't even gotten paid by the city. They're still waiting. I didn't see anybody, and that happened like maybe 3 years ago. I could be wrong. I don't know if you ever heard that the LAPD found pallets of fireworks. Pallets, right? And I don't know why, but they have a detonating truck where they could put the fireworks and detonate it in there. I don't know what the LAPD was thinking that day. They said, you know what? I don't want to drive out to the desert and blow these things up. Just put them in there. Let's blow them up right here in the neighborhood. Next thing you know, the whole container plus the truck blow up in the hood. With the people living there and being there at the same time. They gave no fucks about the people there. You know damn well they wouldn't do that at Pacific Palisades and blow shit up over there.
Privilege.
They just said, nah, let's just blow it up here. Fuck these people.
Okay, so if different neighborhoods have privilege, o sea, one fucking neighborhood burns on fire and you got 10 private fucking helicopters trying to put it out, but the barrio, the hood, obviously doesn't get that attention. Does it really matter though? I mean, there's still carnage. There's still people losing their lives, whether they're living in 8 fucking bedroom, plush, lush mansions off the cliffside or in the barrio. How should the raza see that? Should we be like, fuck that, they don't help us? Or, nah, they're humans. Let's go out there and let's help people. Damn, I just put you on the hot seat.
No, yeah, it's fun. It's not funny, but you know how Mexicans are. Why do you fucking put your house there? You know there's a bunch of fucking trees. Excuse my language. You know there's a bunch of trees over there, and yet you guys live over there. You guys chose to live in a place surrounded by trees, surrounded by dry bushes. You guys literally built your homes out of wood. Like exposed wood. Custom. Like 100% made out of wood. All you see is like
or glass. All these custom houses.
No. What's that thing called where they put like a coat of something on the wood?
Yes, a stain.
A stain. Yes, you see a whole house made out of wood, just stained. That's it. Like I don't know how many trees it would take to build a super mansion like that, but what do you think is going to happen when that thing dries up or catches fire?
It basically, you're living in a match on a match.
Where you're living in a match. And then aside from that, here in LA, if you know some of the stories from the tribes that are from here or used to be from here, you know that there's this old story that a certain tribe from that area cursed that whole land because it got taken away by the city, by the European Americans. They took away their land, which according to them was sacred land. And this is something that we know, like, well, you guys knew it was sacred land to the tribes also there also. I mean, if you want to build your shit there, well, build it there. And but if shit happens, don't go crying that, oh no, there's a big tsunami or an earthquake or a fire.
Norbeez, are you insinuating karma? Is that what you're doing, man? Are you insinuating karma, that shit happens for a reason? Because there was another meme that came out, God is not mocked, and it was the Golden Globes, the Emmys, right? This one 87 votes. This one gets 37 votes. And God gets 0. And then the fucking comedian, they showed a clip that boom, next thing you know, she fell out doing her skit like that.
Yeah, bro. And I mean, that could play a part in a way if you believe in that kind of stuff. I mean, you could say that was karma, and they knew that was a possibility, but they didn't give a fuck. I'm sorry, I'm saying F word. I'm not sorry, but
of course
they didn't care enough to say, you know what, maybe we shouldn't build on these lands. They belong to a tribe. We totally kicked them out of it. Maybe we shouldn't keep developing here.
You're saying the Mexican, because you started the last little segment. I was saying that, you know how the raza thinks, the Mexican. Yeah, I do. You know what I mean? The fucking if si teníamos un hermano and if the parents had a kid, and it kind of like on the movie Mi Familia. Okay, they had Memo. Memo lived on the west side.
Yeah.
Right. The raza in the movie Mi Familia only went over the bridges to the west side to go work. Because the majority of the raza were the landscapers and all that shit, right? You know, Memo, his house would have burned. He would have came back to the little humble house under the bridge right there. And they would have told him, pendejo, ¿por qué hiciste tu casa allá al lado de todos esos pinches árboles, pendejo? Mira lo que pasó. So that's true. The raza thinks different. I wanted to bring that point up to say the raza thinks different. Some people say, you know, F the police, F the police. And I've seen situations where, you know, they take the youngster to the parent's house. The police do. And next thing you know, the mom, this is a lot of the raza moms are like, perdóname, ya no va a pasar, perdóname. And as soon as that door closes, you're getting the ass whooping of your pinche vida. The raza knows what I'm saying.
Yeah, gotta bring that back.
Our perspective is very unique and different, is all I'm saying. So when you see all this shit on social media, our perspective is very unique, man.
It is. And it is because we are definitely the majority out here. They don't want to acknowledge that. Even to this day, they don't acknowledge that. But if you go to the west side, all you're gonna see is raza. You'll see the European Americans too, but the majority of the time you'll see raza everywhere. You go to the east side, same thing. You go to the south side, same thing. You go to the north side, same thing. We are literally covering the whole county. But yet we're the minorities here, according to them.
Oh, that's a joke, man. That's a fucking joke, man.
That is a joke.
We're the minorities. This fucking place was Mexico. What are you talking about, man?
Yeah. Exactly. But that's what they tell us out here. That is what they tell us out here, man. And it's ridiculous.
Yes, we've been the majority. I think Norbeez within the last couple of years, you know, the raza wanted a reset. They're gonna get a reset on Monday, but within the last couple of years, the raza's woken up, man. They're like, nah, fuck this, you know. A mí no me importa qué pinche político se meta en la oficina, menos nomás que nos ayude.
Yeah.
Because what we see on the news, no nos ayude. Before we get off the fire topic, Norbeez, I wanted to get your insight on. You have about 900 of those firefighters are CDC prisoners.
Yeah.
And Kim K came out, and we're not going to make this whole fucking segment about Kim K, but she came out and said, damn, they only pay them $1 a day, and you got 900 firefighters that are in custody. Do you make anything of that? Does that matter to you?
What, that they're getting paid?
$1 a day. They're probably getting maybe some In-N-Out burger too. Let's keep it a buck. I mean, they might be some In-N-Out burger, something like that. I don't know. Does that matter to you?
I mean, for me, it's cool that they're at least contributing to a catastrophe that's happening. At the same time, I do want to point out these kinds of programs are what Kamala Harris started out here in California, where she pretty much made it so they could use prisoners as a workforce for, you know, I guess they would say pennies on a dollar. You would pay them like nothing but they know psychologically they'll be happy just to be outside.
Yeah.
And she took advantage of that. And I'm pretty sure she got in trouble for that because she was like really not paying them a lot.
Well, let me ask you this. How many celebrities do you remember during 46's tenure went to the White House, got laws changed, people released that were, or at least got people's cases reviewed again and possibly released? Because I remember that happening 5 or 6 times under 45. But I can't think of one single time that happened under 46. They must have maybe knew this dude is maybe.
Well, no, they did that one judge that was getting paid to put teenagers in jail. He got a pardon.
Damn, man.
Did you hear about that? There's a judge that was pretty much getting kickbacks to put any teenager in jail.
Damn, man.
What? You cross the street legally? Jail time.
What I'm saying is that Kim K went to 45's office a couple times when he was in office and got a couple people that got absolutely no publicity, Norbeez. The only way you had to see it was because obviously it's social media and they shared the clips of the people coming home after 25, 30 years for a piece of crack or some shit like that. And, you know, the mom hasn't hugged her son in 30 years, but you didn't see that again. I think that we're getting ready for Monday. You know, we're getting ready for a shit storm to start, which is people screaming, wailing, and shit like that. But you know, the second time around, you're probably a little bit more experienced, and we're gonna talk about all that, the pros and the cons of that. But I thought her bringing it to attention, like they should get paid more than $1. Well, I mean, you could pay them more than $1. Yeah, I mean, shit, $1 is not gonna get you much. But if they've been fighting that fire for a couple weeks now, and they got a couple cases of soups.
I mean,
you got some chenate coming.
It's good. Yeah. I mean, for the most part, I mean, I would have renegotiated and said, you know, time served, you know, I mean, you got to consider I would take into consideration how much a firefighter gets, you know, paid and then count that as towards my time as time served. I mean, why am I going to get a few dollars when I could get, you know, weeks, months?
A normal firefighter would be getting paid in California probably between 60, and I could be wrong, probably be 60 to 80, maybe 60 to 100. Again, I could be wrong, but Norbeez, they ain't gonna fucking appeal. They don't got no appeal way. They can't renegotiate, cabrón.
Well, that's when I would have been like, "What, you guys want 900 of us? No, we're not doing that." But if you give us this and that,
you're saying before they pop their doors or some kind of union. Well, we ain't going out there. We want animal fries. We want.
I mean,
cut it out, Norbeez, cut it out.
I mean, you got to strike while the iron's hot, right?
Yeah, it is, and it's funny because right now is it's like wind season, which of course picks up
the Santa Anas, man.
Yeah, the Santa Ana winds. It is wind season, but technically it's not really fire season. That these fires are happening now. People have been putting out videos, Norbeez. I seen a pinchy video. The guy was in the back of a truck driving through like the Palisades, and he was on a little dirt road, and at the side of the road were all these lines of trees, right? Just the tree line right there.
Yeah.
This dude had like a Roman candle.
Damn.
Pointing it to the side as this truck drove down this road. Boom, 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 boom. What do you think about the fire lighting videos? Is that shit not real? Or is that shit really happening? Is it just looters looting, or people are getting paid to do that?
I mean, if it's LA, it's happening. I mean, we got people that are throwing fireworks during the daytime, during the nighttime. They don't care what time it is. They'll shoot them at the sky. They'll shoot them at their neighbors. I mean, then aside from that, you also have our homeless population that apparently everybody's starting to forget that they're still here. We got thousands and thousands of homeless people that are starting fires. And I've seen that some people are now calling them arsonists. I'm like, no, they're not arsonists. They're starting a fucking fire because they're homeless and they're trying to cook something because they don't have a stove. They've been starting fires for the last 10 years here in LA. That's nothing new, but people want to use that as a way to add to their narrative. We're like, no, these guys, they're arsonists. No, those are fucking homeless people. You see all that trash around that area? That's where they're living.
Who the fuck gets arrested for arson? They should put a green light. They should add fucking arson to the list of motherfuckers that get rushed. Rush him if he burns someone's house down.
Well, I thought it was funny that they tried to make this one guy that had a torch look like an arsonist, and in reality, he was actually dabbing. And I don't know if you're familiar with dabbing, but in dabbing, most people they require the use of a torch.
It's like a bong. It's like a bong. You have to light it like a bong and shit.
Yeah. So they caught this guy, and even says in the news channel, I think it was KTLA 5, where they said that they arrested this guy with a torch, but it had nothing to do with the fires. And then you see everybody using this footage saying, no, they caught this arsonist about to start a fire.
Oh, damn.
So it's really hard to believe what we're seeing out here. And at this around these times right now, you really have to do your research before you say, oh, yeah, that's right. Look at that. Look at that. No, you shouldn't believe any of us on what we're saying and showing you. You guys need to do the research, see where we got the video from, follow the breadcrumbs, and make sure that you make a correct assessment of what's really happening, because there's a lot of different narratives flying everywhere.
What if they're saying, Norbeez, oh shit, the fire's getting by the juvenile hall, Silmar. They should evacuate all the youngsters. And some people were like, well, I mean, what do they do with the prisoners?
I mean,
what do you think should be done? What kind of system should it be when the fucking fire, or do they make prisons out of fire deterrent materials where that shit's not getting burned anyways, right? They have to think ahead.
Right. I mean, it's a tough call, man. I mean, honestly, I don't think there should be, in my belief, there shouldn't be any juvenile halls unless they actually, deleted somebody. Then you might want to consider sending them to the adult jails. But for the most part, all these like minor things from these teenagers, they shouldn't be in no juvenile hall. They should be in some housing with counseling and therapy and trades. Teach them a trade and teach them how to heal, because they have better chances of being, better people when they come out of there. But if you lock them up like animals and then beat on them, because from what I hear, some of these, it's a security guard system that is in charge of these juvenile halls here. It's not the sheriffs. It's a security company that's hired by the board of supervisors. So we don't even know what these security guards are doing to these kids. For all we know, they could be beating the crap out of them if they get out of line.
That sounds like one of Council Member Norbeez's policies on crime right there. If he were to get into office, but what? Okay, that sounds good. But what do you do with the hardcore bangers?
Well, that's what I say. Anybody that's actually deleting people out there, I mean, yeah, you might want to consider either regular jail, adult jail, or
but what if he's
insane asylum? That type of thing. I mean, but
16.
You know what? I don't even think adults are adults till they're like maybe 24. I don't think they really understand what life is by 24. An 18-year-old doesn't know shit. I'm sorry to say, they know enough to survive, but they don't know enough to really be out on their own. They still need their parents. They still need guidance. And they're 16 years old. I mean, they're still the same as a 13-year-old, except they're taller and they might have a deeper voice and facial hair. But they're still the same kid that's 13 years old. It's not that much of a difference, 3 years. Now they just have hormones that are developing an ego that tells them they have to be like this.
I mean, I had a partner. He went from YA. He stabbed the pinchy counselor, cabrón. and from fucking stabbing the counselor, I guess it was really, really gacho. He ended up catching the bus and he pulled up to CDC. And there's those, right? But
Yeah.
I don't know, Norbeez. Are you soft on crime, Norbeez?
I wouldn't say teenagers. I mean, I would say yeah, because I think growing up in LA, you see everything that's happened to teenagers. I mean, some of these teenagers, they didn't have a choice. They really didn't have a choice but to join a gang or to break crimes, because either they were poor, they had no parents because both parents were working all day, every day, or the neighborhood was controlled by that gang. And if he wanted to walk that street, that's his neighborhood, he would have to join. I mean, a lot of people didn't have much of a choice. And in certain neighborhoods, it's just like a jail. You're gonna have to join a gang if you want to survive. But I'm talking about the 90s though, more in the 90s.
Yeah, right. It doesn't look like the
Not
jungles
not
in training
now.
day no
No,
more, right? It
no,
doesn't look like the jungles in training day no more.
no. Back then it was crazy. I mean, I could recall like every once or twice a day a week, my block would be closed off by the cops because there was a dead body here, there's a dead body there. There's somebody was dying every day here in LA. And on my block, that's just my block. And I could only imagine all the other blocks that are just as bad. It was very chaotic. And that's why I feel for them. I mean, I would say most teenagers, they do have a chance. I mean, if they didn't delete anybody yet, they probably have a better chance at life if they got counseling, if they got proper help, if they got the right type of help. Because the places they have now is run by private companies that don't care, that don't care about these kids. They just care about the money that's coming in. Just like LAUSD, they don't care about these kids. They just care about the money coming in.
Yeah.
I wouldn't give up on them. I mean, I would definitely use a different way as far as, rehabilitating them. Because I do feel that a lot of them can be rehabilitated. There might be a handful that unfortunately they're just way too out.
Now, it just came out trending the other day. South Park Mexican. Speaking of rehabilitation, South Park Mexican got denied parole again, Norbeez. I believe, I don't know if you believe this, but I believe them motherfuckers, they don't have no recourse. There's no rehabilitation that's going to get them back. I don't know why. I'm just basing it on statistics. Yeah. We just had another pendejo over here in the 831. I think it was in the Aptos area. The dude got out because of the soft crimes after he did some graphic shit. And I don't even think that motherfucker shouldn't have even been out, but he got out. And you know what he did within a couple days? Contacted the victim. Do it all over again. That's what I'm saying. So do you think those individuals have rehabilitation?
Well, I definitely want to say, first of all, there's a lot of disappointed podcasters because they won't have that interview anymore.
What?
there's a lot of disappointed rappers that aren't gonna get that feature anymore. Also,
damn, I don't know who you're taking shots
at. I don't know either. Okay, but
what do you think?
No, I mean at that point, those kind of people, unfortunately, no. I mean, there's a lot of cases, like you said, statistics. A lot of them go back to that same habit, and it's all about culture and society. The U.S. culture and society says it's wrong, and I truly do believe it's wrong. You don't need a youngster like that. But I would say that you go south of here, it probably wouldn't be as harsh because of the development and their societies. I mean, like even Mexico, Central America, South America, you probably still have things like that going on, but for them, it's normal. For us here in the U.S., no, we I don't want to throw shade at those other countries, but I'm just saying we had different beliefs as far as an adult getting it on with a child. It's not right.
Right. And it's a different time because our generations of our parents, keep it a buck. 14-year-olds marrying 20-year-olds. This is 1940s, 1930s, 1950s, maybe even up to the 60s and 70s. But shit done changed.
Shit done changed. You're right. You're right. And that guy, though, that guy specifically, that guy definitely deserves to be locked up. I mean, the evidence they threw at him is just too much. Even his own son, admitting that, yeah, that is who he is.
Why are there people denying it? Why are there people saying it's fake paperwork? Why are there people saying he got thrown under the bus? Why are there people saying it's not true? I don't know what they're basing it off of, but a 45-year conviction from a judge has to have some kind of merit. I mean, no one's perfect. You can miss the mark by a couple years, but you don't get 45 years for nothing.
Yeah,
and
bro.
Then what about the victim impact statements?
Well, I mean, I don't know, man. You have women that marry psycho killers. I mean, in jail. I mean, there's something about people, humans. I don't know. Maybe they have some fetish for people that do wrong, break crimes.
You're talking about the Menendez brothers when they got locked up. All of a sudden, they're hitting mail call.
Yeah.
I mean, bigger than anyone. They're hitting mail call like bags and bags of mail. Because there's a person.
Yeah.
People are.
I don't know what that is. We gotta create a new term for that type of psychological thinking. Like what gets a person to say, I don't care if he bangs little ones, his music is still dope.
Okay, but what about this, Norbeez? Because they've thrown jackets on a lot of popular artists that had an impact, right, in the world, like MJ. They threw jackets on MJ. They were saying this fucking kid spending the night. Yeah. What are the parents thinking, dropping him off at his little fucking Disneyland, wherever? But do you think we should separate the music, the talent that God gave to the person to use to bless the world? Separate that from the piece of shit human nature that all of us have in us, but some motherfuckers are just sick. Should we separate that or not?
Well, I know a lot of R. Kelly fans who would wish we could. Thank you for that.
I don't know if you can even. I don't even know if you can even drop a solid R&B. I mean, you can, but an R&B playlist without mentioning R. Kelly, man. How are you gonna drop a pop playlist without mentioning Michael? So you're saying no, like boycott them, don't buy the music no more if they did some dirty shit like that.
Well, I mean, it sounds different now, Mike. It sounds so much different now. When you hear that song, it seems like you're ready.
Okay, I get it. So you're not getting past it. He's there. He's in time. I'm not saying take it lightly neither. There's real life victims in each and every single case that are still living with scars, trauma, maybe not sleeping. I don't know to the extent what.
I didn't realize how many older men in the 90s were getting it with these teenager R&B singers.
Yeah,
you had that guy from the Boys to Men that was dating Brandy when she was like 16, I think, 15 or 16.
Yeah,
I'm like, what? That guy did that? I can't hear Boys to Men anymore either.
Man, what? One of the Boys to Men singers?
Yeah, one of the Boys to Men singer. He was dating Brandy when she was like 15 or 16.
Oh, I get it. And then Aaliyah married
R. Kelly,
being underage and all that, right?
I think it was Jay-Z and Foxy Brown when she was also a teenager. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I think that was one. A lot of this was happening with all these singers. I'm like, I gotta change my playlist. My playlist.
But can you go back in time in retrospect and throw a jacket? Like say, oh, this shit happened in the 70s. That shit happened in the 80s, 90s. I mean, can you go back in time and be like, oh, you know what I found out about this guy in 1979? Or
I mean, You mean like legally or just to
no, I'm
throw
talking
it to
about.
the
I mean, even like we're talking about, like in my fucking parents' generation and all
yeah,
that. There
yeah.
was teens marrying adults. Their 14-year-old daughters marrying 19, 20. How far back can we go to throw a jacket? As soon as you hear it, I'm not excusing. I'm just
I
saying.
mean, that's how it goes. I mean, they made a law because of that. Because of Bill Cosby, they made that law where you could go back
Mm.
30, 40 years now. I think there was that one law that you couldn't. What was it called? What's that law called? After 5 years, they can't come for you anymore.
Yeah. So there's statute of limitations.
Statutes of limitation that they pretty much bypassed that and created a new law where they could come after, people that violated other people 10, 15, 20, 30 years ago. That's how they got Bill Cosby.
Now we're speaking about that. What do you think the new LADA is going to do with the Menendez brothers case? Because there was a transfer of power now. They were trending because the Netflix series was off the hook, man. I mean, it was graphic. The cinematography and all that, you got to respect if you're in the industry, because they fucking killed the series with the lighting, the visuals. They killed that fucking series. Even though a lot of people say, oh, fucking rainbows and rainbows and rainbows. I just say this: if that really did happen to them, that was fucked up.
Yeah.
I mean,
I mean,
what do you think?
It was fucked up, but at the same time, you seen what they did to their parents. I mean, I don't want that person living next to me. I mean, my personal opinion, they couldn't. They had the choice to go another way about it, but the way they off their parents, I mean, you really had to give up a lot of your humanity to do what they did to their parents. I mean, they kept the mom's face so many times they couldn't even tell her face anymore. They took out one whole clip on her face and went back to reload to go back on the face. I mean,
graphic
wow.
Shit.
I mean,
graphic shit.
Yeah, and for me, I'm like, you know what? Maybe they should stay there. I mean, it is messed up what happened to them, but at the same time, it is very messed up what they did to their parents. Also, I mean, if they wanted real justice, lock them up, let them pay for their crimes, then take all their money, not delete them both and take all their money and then go to live a luxurious life while you kept their bodies in some weird. I don't even know where they kept those bodies, or I think they reported it afterwards. I don't know, but I think for me personally, those guys need to stay there. These guys are just making a weird circus out of it. I don't know. Maybe they're going for clout. I would have been like, bro, they off their parents in a very gruesome way. They could stay there. I don't need to spend more time getting these guys out because of a letter.
What is the new DA? What do you think he's going to lean toward? Re-put it, rehash it, re-put it back, revisit it? Because the fizzle's gone. The fizzle's gone. The series is getting age. It's getting older. But like you said, at the same time, there's these people that off people. I want to come home and change my life, and I'm a changed man, and I did this, which I fucking did a 180 right there too. I was like, man, how many fucking terms am I gonna catch the bus? How many times am I going to come back to mom's room, same fucking room? Oh, mom is just getting more gray hair, sending me packages, being a burden. I mean, but anyways, that's a different topic.
Yeah.
When you do some shit like that, I think a lot of gang members, Norbeez, and it doesn't just have to be gang members, but a lot of people that have seen graphic shit like bullets hit bodies.
Yeah.
We got some kind of PTSD on that shit. It's I the way I got it out was just praying. I prayed it out. I said, take it, and I believe he did. And I believe it came back and bit me in the ass. And I did what I had to do what I had to do for a certain amount of time. But I don't know. I don't think they're coming home no more.
Yeah, I don't think so either. And I'm okay with that.
Okay. So it's this dude. What was his name? Nathan Hockman or some shit like that, right?
Yeah.
Nathan Hochman. I mean, we were talking about Alvin the other time, how Alvin wants to talk shit about fucking calling the cops, but then he interviews cops.
There you go.
Norbeez, real quick, before we switch topics on that, what did you think when you saw Alvin rolling it up in this clip right here?
Norbeez, ¿dónde está el chavo?
Okay.
You know what I thought? I thought
when you saw the maybe either this video or the authentic, whichever one, what crossed your mind?
This guy, he doesn't shock
Karma?
me anymore. This guy, I mean, Karma, no, he has not paid enough for the damages that he's done. I'll tell you that much. And he continues to try to do more damage. And his sidekick is also out there, lying about things. And I could definitely call him out on that. But he'll probably come back. He wants.
You're talking about what? The dog, the money, because
which one?
The sidekick lying about.
Oh yeah. The sidekick went on the show saying that I emailed the neighbor next to them, and I can 100% say that's a fucking lie. I can say that to his face, you're a fucking liar. Show me the receipts where it shows my email trying to talk to them, because I didn't do it. Somebody did. And this is one thing that I keep saying. I love the audience. I love the live chat. I love the people. I love the supporters. Why? Because of these things. They go above and beyond to help me out, to do things on my behalf when I never asked them to. So shout out to all the supporters, the people that saw something wrong and wanted justice.
Right.
And I want to say thank you to all those people that did the things that they did to make a lot of things happen. Because at the end of the day, things are working out. Things are coming back. These narcissists don't realize that the shit's hitting the fan. And
Whack 100 new show called Exposers.
How did that song called?
Which one?
The cat got your tongue, now whack got your tongue.
Shit, man. We could talk about that a little bit going down the road, but you're right. It's not karma. It's just I said it from day one. Look, the dude started the channel, cloud chasing, telling war stories, which is already a fucking bad thing. Imagine the youngsters coming on there. Oh yeah, fuck this and that. And then there was little glimpses of hopes where he looked like he was being somewhat authentic, right? He's trying to clean up the neighborhood. He went and he called the police on a tagger, right? So that, I think I'm going to give him some kind of credit. You calling the police on a tagger is kind of like boots in the ground trying to clean up the community. But then why would you come and somehow you change like another personality and all of a sudden you're like, fuck that. And he calls the cops. Wait a second. But you're the one that said, I mean,
with Norberto and Antonio.
Okay, Norberto is I would say Norberto would be gangster, but Norberto called the cops, fool. Okay.
A few moments later.
I go out like a straight cop, and it was my wife's Tahoe back in the days. I go in there, I skid out, I come out with my flashlight. I said, get down! He gets all panicked. He's like, what? I said, get your ass down. At this time, I got the flashlight. I got my knee on his back. I'm like, hey, there's some little paisita lady that doesn't even speak English. She's out there in the corner of the house. I told her, call the cops, this and that, right?
That to me was like a glimmer of hope in the middle, starting it off clout chasing war stories in the middle. Okay, this is really him trying to clean up the community, but somehow it changed like you're trying to be with the cool kids. Now, obviously, Norbeez, you had the YouTube Yarda moment of the year. It was last year, and he pretty much rolled it up. I do call cap on money. We're going to get off the issue with Alvin and shit like that because we can move on to more meaningful.
I do want to say this one thing. I think it's funny that a lot of the hardest guys on this YouTube thing that seem to push the narrative that they're the hardest cholos out there, they don't do things on YouTube. They do it in the background on the streets. They seem to be the ones working the most with the cops. Have you noticed that? That a lot of these guys eventually have a paperwork that comes out or that gives a lot of shout outs to cops or that work with cops or that interview cops. Why is it that the hardest guys that proclaim to be, gang members or in the part of that world, they're the ones that are talking to cops, working with them? It's usually the one that speaks the loudest because I don't talk about the cops. If I do talk about the cops, it's because I point out all the bad things that they do.
Norbeez,
I
get it
don't
off your chest, man.
recall one moment where I would say, "Oh, I love the cops. Oh, I know some great cops." You do not see me do that at all, and I'm not a gang member. And the reason why you wouldn't catch me doing that is because I've seen the cops do too much bad in my community to my people to ever give them any kind of respect or any kind of shout out, let alone pretend to be one in front of people. Because what they done to our people here, and I know people are going to say I'm a crybaby because, I'm always playing the victim. No, I'm not playing the victim. When the Great Depression happened, they started coming for us. Even though we were born here, they came for us. When we were having too many children, they started giving vasectomy to our women at General Hospital illegally. When we started organizing, creating social clubs, they brought in the drugs. And they gave it for free to the people willing to sell out their own neighborhoods. They created crack. They created fentanyl. They created all these things to keep us down. But yet the hardest guys on YouTube that have to mention other guys' names are usually the ones talking to them. Am I wrong? Because it seems like that's what's been going on. I could be wrong.
Things are coming to light, man. You got Whack 100 doing a new show called Exposers.
Shout out to Whack.
Let's see who comes out on that episode. The phone lines are open, Norbeez. I didn't forget this time. We're going to go ahead and open up the phone lines, 831.
All right.
4328. And that's just if anyone wants to chime in on anything we're talking about. But Norbeez, I wanted to switch lanes. I wanted to get your opinion on, there was recently last week, it was circulating around social media that flyers were thrown outside of an airplane in Sinaloa, and it was citing certain influencers that they said are siding with the ops. Okay, and on that flyer, Peso Pluma was on that flyer. Another influencer, his name is El Camarón, the dude that always has the rooster, inside his arms. His brother just got unalived about 3 weeks ago. Another person on that flyer, El Gordo Perucci, he is not here no more as well. The shit's getting crazy in Mexico with influencers. I don't know if they're not treading lightly, if they take this shit as a joke. They think you could just come on here like the banda world and just offend and talk shit and shoot shots, and everyone's a weenie, everyone's a ranker, and don't think no one wants to test your chin or pull your card.
Exactly.
What do you think about all these flyers going on, and what the hell? How should these social media influencers navigate when they live in cartel country?
Well, first of all, before I go there, I do want to correct myself because I am seeing it in the chat. I know I said vasectomy for women. I meant to say hysterectomy for women. Yeah,
it's like
hysterectomy. Hysterectomy.
My bad.
Shout out to the live chat for checking me on that. But this is a thing, man. These guys, they push that live. They act it out like they're part of it. It's just like the guys here that are pretending to be real gang members, but not really being part of it. Eventually you're gonna get caught up. Look at Tupac. Tupac wasn't a gang member. That guy was an actor / writer. and he was able to put 2 and 2 together and became Tupac, the rapper.
Yeah,
Then
entertainer.
he joined a gang later in life where he was like, what, maybe 21, 22? And then what happened to him? He got caught up. These young guys here, they push that lifestyle. They say they're part of it. They show the weaponry in their music videos. They show the mountains of snow all over the place. And they're going to get caught up because they're shining light on things that certain people don't want a light shined on it. And these kinds of things happen because then you have people that start believing their own hype and not only talking about it, but talking smack about them. Like, it's crazy when you see these YouTubers, these influencers that they get caught up in their own hype. They start talking shit about these people. And then when they get caught up, I mean, you really can't be too surprised or have too much sympathy at that point.
Jenny Selby, La Chicana from the 619's in the building. How are you, amiga? What you got to say?
I'm good.
I can hear you.
He's incorrect on what he said. Somebody's echoing me or you?
Go ahead. No, that's you. That's on your side.
Mikey, do you have a speaker on by any chance?
I don't. It's going to the Roadcaster way. Just Bluetooth.
Oh, okay. All right.
Norbeez, you're incorrect about Cesar Chavez, okay?
Elaborate, please.
Go ahead, amiga.
Okay, my father came over here on the Bracero program. Okay,
Can you give us some background on that?
Was only against illegal immigrants because he didn't want them to take the jobs that he figured were rightfully so belonged to people that were citizens. That's the only thing.
Go ahead.
That's
amiga.
all it was.
Okay.
You
Well,
need to. I hate to say this, but people need to get an education, read books, or do something.
I appreciate you, amiga.
You have to know what you're talking about.
I appreciate you calling
And
in,
it's
amiga.
not a personal slight on you, Norbeez, okay?
Oh, no, I take no offense. I know what I'm talking about.
No, you don't. I'm always right.
Thank you for calling in. Jenny Selby, La Chicana's in the house.
What do you want me to do?
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Cuídate mucho. God bless. All right. They say, where's the number? The number is right there. What we're talking about. What about the 3-4 presidential candidates? No one's talking about that. Ran for the pinchy shine bombs position right now in Mexico. That also got unalived. Now, one of the influencers, his name is El Gordo Perucci.
Yeah.
They came to him and they said, hey, you got to take down the cameras outside your house.
Yeah.
We don't want anyone recording the common areas in las calles or nothing here. And he told them, well, they don't even work, and didn't take them down. That was his fatal mistake.
Yeah.
That's crazy, man. It's different. Mexico is different.
I do want to say that to the live chat. I don't know if you can see it, but the number is scrolling at the bottom because I see some people asking where the number is.
Yeah,
and I think Mikey tagged pinned it also.
I'll pin it now.
You know what? I like to point out that some of those people that got deleted were running for different races, and they were just connecting it to her race. I would say a lot of these politicians become enemies with the wrong people. It's still happening. I mean, it's funny that you only hear it. Well, it's not funny, but is it a coincidence that you're only hearing it about it when it happened then, but you're not hearing the ones that are happening now? I mean, that's been happening. It's no surprise. They unalived Colosio in front of everybody.
Damn. Shit.
These things are not new, and these things aren't happening because Claudia was running. These things happen there because you make enemies with the wrong people.
Unknown caller.
That's all I got.
That's right.
Brad Pitbull.
That's right, Brad Pitbull. You're live on Chicano Street. What you got to say?
What's up, Brad? Good to hear you.
Good evening, everyone. First of all, I want to give a shout out to all the Mexican firefighters.
Hey,
those guys are welcome. And
that's right.
A message to the president of Mexico: can we pay those firefighters for 1,000 IECs?
That's right.
All right.
And I just want to make a quick point before my phone dies here. If they'll, I'm just thinking if the mayor will let the rich people burn and die, imagine what they will do to us.
Oh wow, yeah, good point.
And that's it. And I'm waiting for Spencer Baca to call in. And,
Hey, yeah, Spencer. Make sure you call in.
That's right, Brad Pitbull. Live on Chicano Street. I appreciate you, cabrón.
All right, thank you. Good night.
Thanks, man. Appreciate you. Hey, did you see the recent picture right now? The Mayor Bass is having a Gavin Newsom. Newsom, is it Newsom? Newsom, right? Gavin Newsom moment. You remember the pantry moment, the pantry picture where he was with. Yeah, well, Bass is having that same moment now because apparently a picture that just came out of her drinking wine or champagne in somewhere in Africa while everything was burning around in her city.
Now, there were also burglars, that were dressed up in like Malibu firefighters.
Yeah.
Like, where the fuck do these people, man? This están vivos los cabrones. Where do they get a firefighter suit? Go down there and I got it, and fucking
it's crazy, bro.
Run in a $10 million home to look for shit. That's crazy. And then when they show a picture, Norbeez, the majority of them are raza.
Well, I'll tell you this much, yeah, for the most part, yeah. I mean, when you have people that that's how they grew up. I mean, I'm not making excuses for them, but
showing is that propaganda, and that's all they're showing is raza.
No, because I remember the guy with the LAFD uniform. He was a white dude. So I'm like, okay, well, they're at least they're showing everybody, all classes are racist, not just us.
All classes are racist.
But I will tell you, I would say the people of Santa Monica, they're
showing all
they're ever since the metro subway was opened up in Santa Monica, all the crime has gone up there. So they definitely have been complaining that a lot of crime has been happening in Santa Monica since the opening of the metro.
I mean, you can't please everyone, even here in Salinas también. Well, we need to do something with the homeless. Okay, well, we're gonna build a whole new complex and give them all the resources and all kinds of shit. And then the people come to the city council meeting. Well, we don't want it by us. Like, what the fuck is that?
Well, it's funny because that happened here. We were supposed to build homes where the homeless are at, but you know where they started building these homes? In Boyle Heights and East LA, because they didn't want it there. But
are
the
you talking
mayor,
about shelters or what kind of homes? Shelters, halfway houses?
Shelters, yeah, shelters, halfway houses, places designed just for the homeless.
Yeah.
Even though we don't have that many, we have homeless people, is because they're that one homeless person that is an alcoholic. But not like the guys that look like they're 20, 25, 30-year-old guys that can still work, but they get a $700 paycheck every month, so they choose not to.
Yeah, man. It is what it is, man. I don't know. I wanted to ask your insight, moving on from the Sinaloa influencers over there getting fucking flyers thrown out of a plane. Gente, if you're in Sinaloa, my last remark on this, just listen, man. You gotta overstand and know that that's who really runs the country. Like here they say, or in other parts of the world or whatever, the Illuminati, que New World Order, que whatever. Well, in Mexico is the cartel. And it's pretty plain and simple, because when you say the wrong shit on a video, you got 29 people running inside your fucking, kicking down your door and running in your house. So it's just a little bit different. But let's move on from that. Did you hear about the alleged, supposed TikTok ban? Okay, TikTok being a company from China, and they want to institute, and that's not 47, because there was even some reports that's 47. See the fucking shit he's doing. Fucking guy's not even in office yet.
Yeah,
I mean, God must say, but the media is already biting into the bit, because he's gonna give them all kinds of content for 4 years, all kinds of content.
Oh yeah.
What do you think about that? Does people matter? I mean, there's actually influencers who fucking get paid from TikTok and pay their bills, their mortgages, their car payments. Do you give a rat's? Do you give a shit? There's actually people if this happens, gonna be unemployed, or what?
I mean, for the influencer part, I don't really care too much. I mean, if that's how they make their money, that's how they make their money. But for the most part, what does concern me is the fact that they're denying this company, because according to them, they're getting information from us, which I think is funny, because Facebook got caught selling our information from what I remember, to Russia. They I don't know if you remember, but Mark Zuckerberg had to go to all these meetings of why he shouldn't be selling our information during political times, to influence for them to use against us, to influence on who to vote for. So we got that. You don't see anybody saying, hey, well, we got to get rid of Facebook because they did that. All these apps on our phones are taking our information, all of them. And they're coming from China. They're coming from Korea, Africa, India, Mexico, South America, Australia. They're coming from everywhere.
Oh, yeah.
Everybody's getting our info at this point.
And some people were saying the 9/11, the Patriot Act that passed right after 9/11 happened. Of course, they said in the, what is it called? The document. Matter of fact, let me see if I could bring that up. Patriot Act 9/11. A lot of people were saying that this Norbeez was actually used to get people's information and to spy on people. I don't know. Did you hear about that? The 9/11, the Patriot Act. Watch. We'll bring it up right now, and then we'd all look at it together. Check it out. It says this. It says, here it is. It says, I want to get the whole thing. To intercept and obstruct terrorism, passed by Congress in response to September 11, 2001 terror attacks. You can see it right here. The act expanded the surveillance and law enforcement powers of the federal government. But people were saying, well, wait a second. That's also saying they can use this same act if they want to spy on you.
Yep.
And get your information. And now they have a reason, which is, it just says right here. It says the act allowed for domestic international wiretapping, pen register monitoring, and secret searches. It also expanded the authority of the federal agencies to access electronic communication. I mean, what do you think? I mean, is it a bad, like, if we get rid of TikTok because it's a Chinese company, are we better off?
No, we're not. I mean, you have Chinese companies all over LA. San Gabriel Valley is covered with Chinese companies. I don't see the government shutting those places down. We got Chinese banks. They got their own banks here. They're buying real estate here. Shit. I mean, even Trump got him. They showed him a map of the Chinese buying all these land next to our military facilities.
Damn it.
You're more worried about TikTok than those things? And that's not to throw shade at the Chinese, The Chinese, from what I've seen, they're doing pretty well off, and they're not treating all their people bad from what I've seen. But I'm just saying it sucks, because they're taking away a platform that a lot of us use for either entertainment or even some education. There's a lot of educational things on there. One of the complaints from the feds was that they're teaching our kids really bad things, and they're learning a lot of bad habits. They're learning whatever they're looking for. Don't blame the app. If they're typing in big boob girl, they're gonna get big boob girls. If they're gonna do how to vape the biggest smoke vape ever, they're gonna get a bunch of info. It's the algorithm only works on what you put in and what you're asking for. I look up for educational things. My TikTok gives me feeds on a lot on how to make shit.
Mm.
I don't get like these big booby girls or any other like things that would be inappropriate. I get really good content out of it.
Now, I've been saying this from the beginning. I know for a fact these phones are hearing us. I actually think they're recording us.
They are.
And I think the AI technology, like El Pinche Musk presents, I think that shit is gonna get to a level where, I mean, how many people know this shit, Norbeez? You think about something and the shit comes across your feed for sale.
Oh yeah.
Am I lying?
No, you're not. I mean, but this practice has been happening for years. I remember there was a mall that got a big lawsuit because they had a device that was picking up the information off your phone and picking off the things you were talking about and using that information to put up sales or to send you information. They were tracking you the moment you stepped inside the mall. They got a big lawsuit because this was a device that was installed inside the walls. You didn't know they were recording you and they were taking your information. That's why I tell people, if you're going to be in a public place, turn off your Wi-Fi, turn off your Bluetooth. That's at the least minimum thing you could do, aside from turning it off. But sometimes even turning off your phone isn't enough.
People ain't gonna do that shit. They're lazy.
No. And let's face it, every time you agree to download an app, you agree to be recorded. You agree to be spied on. These are things that you're agreeing to.
Hello.
You're just not reading the fine print where it says, we're recording what you're doing while you're sleeping. Because that's what they do.
What do you think about Mark Zuckerberg recently went on Joe Rogan and it looked like he had a pinchy come to Jesus moment, and he's talking about, we'll go ahead and just and load up the clip right here. The guy said China's already claiming spots in space. We're talking about space and shit. Maybe we'll get there in a little bit. Hold on. Maybe we'll get to space. Hold on. But I wanted to play this clip. Is this Zuck waking up, Norbeez? Let's check it out. Come on. Where's the pinchy clip, man? Here it is.
Super hard to take down things that were true, right? I mean, they basically pushed us and said, anything that says that vaccines might have side effects, you basically need to take down. And I was just like, well, we're not going to do that. Like, we're clearly not going to do that. I mean, that is kind of inarguably true.
Who is they? Who's telling you to take down things that
it was
talk about vaccine side effects?
It was people in the Biden administration. They wanted us to take down this meme of Leonardo DiCaprio looking at a TV talking about how 10 years from now or something, you're going to see an ad that says, okay, if you took a COVID vaccine, you're eligible for, for this kind of payment, like this sort of like class action lawsuit type meme. And they're like, no, you have to take that down. We just said, no, we're not going to take down humor and satire. We're not going to take down things that are true. And then at some point, I guess, I don't know, it flipped a bit. I mean, Biden, when he gave some statement at some point, I don't know if it was a press conference or to some journalists, where he basically was like, these guys are killing people. And I don't know, then like, all these different agencies and branches of government basically just like started investigating and coming after our company. It was brutal. It was brutal. They pushed us super hard.
Damn, man. What do you think of that? A slap in the face? Conspiracy theorists were right. I mean, what do you think? And if Harris would have won, would he even said that shit?
That's a very good question. But in all honesty, I think how he should have started with was, look, they had leverage over me. They could have taken my company, especially when they found out that my company was selling everyone's information on the net. It was up for sale.
Yeah.
So in order for me to keep my company, I had to listen to what they wanted me to do. If he would have said that, I would have been more sympathetic towards them. Oh,
he's getting groomed by lawyers to give statements, right?
Yeah. And at the end of the day, the Democrats had leverage over him. They could have taken Facebook away from him. He had to play ball. In politics, if you have leverage over somebody, that's your power. That's your real power right there. And they had leverage over Mark because of his company selling information of the users in Facebook.
Damn.
So, yeah, he has no waking moment. He has no humanity. This guy doesn't care about us. This guy doesn't care about anybody but his company and himself. He's proven that time and time again. And this is just his way of saying, look, guys, I'm just like you guys. No, you're not, bro. You're not like us. You sold us out. You literally sold us out and you got caught. So that's why you had to play ball. But that's why when Biden and Harris told you take that down, you had to take it down. Why? Because they would take your company away. You're not bullshitting anybody. You could bullshit Rogan, because I'm not gonna lie, Rogan, he's kind of losing it from what I've seen. He's kind of losing it right now. He kind of ticked me off when Trump was pushing the Canada should be part of the U.S. thing. And then Joe Rogan had the audacity to say, you know what, Mexico should be taken in also.
Damn it.
I'm like, you know what, bro? No. Fuck that. There should be no reason that Mexico would be consumed by the U.S. Because we have better shit. We have better food. We have better cultures. We have, there's a lot much better off. But
chilaquiles, go ahead.
But in a sense, that's what I'm saying about Joe Rogan. Like, it shouldn't be like that. If anything, it should be Mexico taking back the U.S. and then taking Canada.
Damn it. So what do you think about the Gulf of America?
And I know that's Trump just trolling. I know those are his trolling ways. He's trying to get under Democratic skin, and it's working.
Does it matter?
No. I mean, the names of these places, what's it going to matter? I mean, you're going to change it. You could change it in the book. At any time, at any given moment, the feds can change the books and just rename it, and the kids are going to grow up believing that. This is how we've been, brainwashed. This is how we've been. There's another word for it.
It's kind of like changing the Redskins name and this name. How far back do you want to go? Mexico has been knocking down a lot of statues from the Spaniards. They've been knocking down a lot of conquistador statues. But California, correct me if I'm wrong, I believe that was named by Cortez.
It probably was. I mean, a lot of these places were named.
Cortez. Do you want to change the name of California? I mean, how far down the rabbit hole you want to go? What do you think?
Yeah, bro. But the interesting part about that is that not all the states in Mexico were Spanish names. At a certain point, they had to say, okay, well, you're not changing that state into that name. It's called this, and that's what it's going to stay. And they had to say, okay, well, okay, we won't change the name. You guys want to call it Oaxaca? Call it Oaxaca.
Were you for the Redskins getting their name taken or against it?
I mean, at the end of the day, if they're not giving money to a tribe for having a name like that, yeah, take it away. I mean, if you're going to use, a tribal face or any kind of thing that is reference to their culture and you're not giving them money, no, you shouldn't be using it. Now, if you're
people were saying they didn't ask the community themselves. People were saying the woke movement is what made them remove the name and not the community itself. That the community itself could have fucking liked the name.
I mean, if they did, then that's another thing. But for me personally,
clothes. Go ahead.
Yeah, but for me personally, it's more like if you're not giving them money, why are you you're culture vulturing. You're exploiting them. Like, but if they were giving them money and they were giving them millions a year, that's great. I applaud them because at least they're getting some type of compensation out of it.
Cleveland, I think the baseball team too. What about the Braves, Atlanta? I mean, you can keep going and going and going. I don't know. But you mentioned 45. I wanted to bring this up, Norbeez. I want to go ahead and read a statement because there was something that it's on the news, but obviously very low, outlets are putting it out there. There has now been a ceasefire announced and negotiated in the Middle East, and hostages finally being exchanged from Gaza and Israel, kind of a sign of we're going to start wrapping this shit up. I just wanted to go ahead and bring this statement. It says right here, this epic ceasefire agreement could have only happened as a result of the historic victory in November, as a signal to the entire world that my administration will seek peace and negotiate deals to ensure the safety of all Americans and our allies. I am thrilled American and Israeli hostages will be returning home to be reunited with their families and loved ones. That's really the crux of it to me, is that people are fucking stop dying.
Yeah.
Stop getting in wars that don't involve you, and bring them back home.
Definitely.
What do you think about that? And why isn't it getting un chingo the more publicity? A ceasefire finally happened, but no one's talking about it. I know. Hold on. We got a call right here. That's right, Turtle. You're live on Chicano Street. What you got to say, cabrón?
Yo, Turtle.
Hey, guys. How you guys doing?
Hey, good evening, cabrón. Good.
Great, man. What about you?
How you guys feeling?
Oh, good. Right here chopping it up, man. What you got to say about anything that we said?
Oh, okay. About the fires and stuff, you guys think it's a conspiracy?
Man, go ahead and give it
Go for it, man.
What do you think is happening?
Well, from what Gibson said, could have been done on purpose.
For what reason?
What do you guys think?
For what reason?
Who knows? Probably
Gentrification, get
I don't
apartments,
know.
condos.
All I know is it looked like a natural disaster, but who knows, right? There's always those conspiracy stuff.
Yeah. I mean, it's possible. Anything's possible at this point.
That's right. Yeah. I think when it comes to the fires, it could be a natural disaster that happened, except it's not fire season. Fire season, we know when fire season, that's when motherfuckers are sweating and it's hot out there and it's humid out there. And that it's happening right now during wind season, I don't think that's a coincidence.
Well, I always tell people, do you remember the big fire during the pandemic?
Come on.
I don't, because there wasn't one, because everybody was locked up. But as soon as everybody started to come out again, we got fires again. There's definitely a human cause catastrophe.
That's right, man. Caller, I
What do you
appreciate
think about that? You guys are talking about the Redskin stuff. What if people still wear those logo like sweaters or hats that have Redskins on it, or the Cleveland Indian logos? What do you guys think about people still wearing those things?
Norbeez.
I mean, for me, for the most part, I know they're not wearing it as an insult. They're wearing it as a pride for their team. And that's just what it is. A pride for the team, a love for the team, a love for the symbol, and it just happens to be that. But for me, at the end of the day,
like I said, they're trying to erase it, right?
Yeah. Erase.
Exactly. Go after the Braves, go after the Indians. People were saying they didn't even ask the community itself what they thought. They just passed it because it was some woke shit.
Yeah, the woke thing, because it causes problems, right? Between people, between la gente, right? They start, whenever you bring up that topic, people start tripping, right?
I'm just saying, what if there was a contract in place? What if they're getting cut money, residuals or something, and we're cutting off that money based on a name? So again, that's only about 5 or 6 states in the United States. It's crazy because these states are like it's like a country of its own. Because my wife flies all over the place, and she's like, "Man, you guys are in California or a trip." That's right.
It's all the marijuana in there, right?
The recreational marijuana. That's right, cabrón.
No, but
go ahead.
I think what Mexico's trying to do is take back what was Mexico before, California, Texas, Arizona, and all that.
Yeah, we are, man. One baby at a time.
What if this all just turned to Mexico?
I'd be okay with that.
California and all that. Would you guys mind that, or you guys would think it would be cool?
Check this out, man. If California would have stayed Mexico, me and the wifey just went to Rosarito not too long ago. These castles off.
It's easy. Just take out the border, right? It's easy. Take out the border. But you know where the border should be?
Go ahead.
What?
It should be from Texas all the way straight up to the Dakotas. And all the East Coast, that should be, I don't know, that could be Europe if they want.
Yeah, pretty much.
Damn, callers redrawing
and everything
the
to the
lines.
west should be Mexico.
You know what is disappointing though? Some of the
Everything to
raza
the west
from
should all be Mexico.
yeah, man. It should be. I mean, it should be.
And the border should be from Texas all the way up to the Dakotas, straight up. You get me?
Shit, that's not 30% of the land. That's like fucking 60. I mean, the extra 30, the extra 30
you
is
gotta go
interest.
50-50.
Hey, the extra 30 is interest, right?
Hey,
and it could be
someday it's gonna be all of it. Someday it's gonna be all of it.
Yeah, you're illegal and all that stuff.
That's right, cabrón. I appreciate the call.
Thank you, man.
All right, over and out.
Hey, cuídate mucho. Take care.
I want to point out this comment here from Harvey Greenman. He said, "Ev, no, I don't need cartels. Where to go in my or your neighborhoods? I hate to break it to you, but they're here. If you don't think they're here, you're not paying attention because they're here. They don't want to be in Mexico either. How do you think? Who do you think's buying these? Who do you think's transporting these things here? Who do you think is receiving shipment?"
There was the stories that broke the news here in the 831. One of the city's police chief controlled by the cartels in Mexico.
So,
and who knows what they were pushing?
Harvey Green, I hate to break it to you, bro, but they are definitely here. They are your neighbors, and do what we do in LA. Just dodge the bullets.
Damn it. Dodge the bullet. The last thing I wanted to mention, Norbeez, I don't know if it's the last thing, but let's go ahead and keep it pushing now. Something came across, and it's been trending, and it was a young hip-hop artist. I don't know if you heard this story, but they got audio of him. I don't know. I think it was pretty much candid audio. Candid audio is when you don't know. You don't know you're getting recorded, and that's when the real shit comes out.
Allegedly, because a lot of these podcasters are coming out with, I lost this and this came out of it. Somebody managed to break into my encrypted phone and take out all this information. It wasn't me that leaked it out. I've been seeing a lot of that lately. A lot of people's stored up information coming out.
Let's go ahead and check out this clip, man. Let's see what's up.
Call yourself Drex the Joint. Cause you all on your live got everybody behind you saying K, you saying Crab K and all that, bro. You trying to start a race war or something? And what's so crazy? I had a phone call with my Mexican partners, and we know we ain't gonna start a race war over you. You wanna know why? Cause don't consider you a real Mexican. And who cares though? That don't even matter to us. But you being disrespectful, posting it, knowing that is watching. You see his followers on there. Oh yeah, they on here. You got all that, y'all nigga K, Crab K, and come on, cuz. I would say stop playing. And you just did a show with all black wasn't saying that all out the show. Come on, cousin. Even if that's how you feel, keep your shit private. When you trying to do this, when you in position, you have black supporters. Hey,
Damn, Norbeez. He performed with King Little G at Rolling Loud. When you perform with King Little G, I mean, you know, it should be a good show, right? He's half black, half Mexican, but I don't want to say hot mic, but candid audio or whatever he said on live, man, basically was just gang banging, you know, but on the net. And then all of a sudden he's kind of wanting to deflect from her. What do you think about that?
Well, here's the thing, and I think we spoke on this the last time we went live. There's a lot of people out here on YouTube, on Instagram, that are really trying to start this race war. They're pushing it, even if it's against their own people. They're really pushing the narrative that there should be some type of some sort of division between us and the blacks. And time and time again, I see these YouTubers, you know, putting out information that will make the other side get mad at us and vice versa. Like we have characters out here that are intentionally trying to create a race war. It's not because they did it by accident. It's because they want results. Because once it's in the internet, it's content. They need content, and if it requires creating a race war, then by all means, let's push this narrative that, you know, the Browns are talking all this stuff about the blacks, and the blacks are talking all this stuff about the Browns. Let's all do it. But you know what? None of these people are from LA. That kid's not from LA. All these other YouTubers aren't from LA. They might have a LA hat. That doesn't mean they're from LA. Let's get that thing straight. Just because they have an LA hat does not mean they're from here. Does not mean they represent us.
Right. He's from Orange County. Then the artist right there, W Flame, he's from, where's he from?
I have no idea.
Long Beach. I think he's from Long Beach.
Long Beach is definitely LA. I mean, that's definitely LA County. And they definitely have gone through a lot of the same things that we've gone through up here. But for the most part, you know, we've already been through it. We have the city that's been against both of us. We don't try to go against each other out here. We work with each other. We laugh with each other. That's why you have so many razas in the hood that say the N-word, because they grew up with, you know, the black communities and vice versa. I mean, that's why some of the blacks know what a carne asada is, you know, we're mingling our cultures together. But the one thing we know for a fact is that we don't hate each other, because we know that these cops are going to look at both of us the exact same way. We know that if they're going to bust us, the brown guy, they're going to bust them too. We already know each other. We can see each other in the eye and know, yeah, they're looking at us. We have survived this long. When we've had so many here in LA, there's not one person that's really from LA that hasn't lost somebody to gang violence. But these characters that aren't from LA, they intentionally want us to turn against each other. And this brother here, he knows it. He knows that we're not trying to fight each other. We're not trying to be racist towards each other. But these people out here, they keep making content and they keep leaking footage that gets leaked out that will make that. They would go to a neighborhood and try to make that neighborhood look bad. I saw this guy, Hoodie Hood, point out that this one guy was making this neighborhood look like a racist neighborhood.
Okay. Yes, because they were pushing an agenda, which is old shit, like you were saying. This is shit it's been going on for decades.
But these guys are kids. And there's one individual, Hoodie Hood, I think his name. He said, like, you know, a responsible, you know, person that it does documentaries would probably interview an older person, a much wiser person, somebody that's survived, not somebody that's still surviving.
Right.
You know, because when you interview somebody that's very young and full of hormones and has nothing but pride for their hood, they're gonna say things that they probably shouldn't say
Reckless
on a camera. They would be reckless, and that's not surprising. But you have these characters that don't care, and they will keep that in there just to make them look bad. Because a real person that does documentaries would say, okay, well, you said that, but what's the background on that? What's the history? How did that come about? But they don't do that. They just put the part that's bad and then just leave the audience to make their own assumptions without clarifying how that became, you know?
Now, you notice he did say, yeah, this ain't going to kick off no race war. You notice he did say that, right? Because he's saying, you know, the real ones, they talk behind the scenes. They ain't going to go off what the internet is. They're going to make phone calls and deal with something that they got to deal with if it becomes an issue. But I was saying on a live, Norbeez, I mean, when you say something, why not just own that shit? If you got ops, you got ops. I mean, but I wouldn't say shit on the internet. That's what he's saying. It just takes a more professional level to how you're gonna take care of yourself. Now, he was on the internet, you know what I mean? How you're gonna handle yourself. Now, there was a clip, I don't know if you remembered it. I think it was on Hood Stocks, and that was a clip where they went down to that individual, that rapper's neighborhood, and they had a guy, I think his name was Menace. Shout out to him. I think he said this youngster said he got put on here, but he didn't get put on here. He came at 6 a.m. and another shit. And I don't know, man, but it's a sticky situation. Like No Jumper, I think this is what No Jumper does. No Jumper uses these situations for financial gain, right? Because No Jumper, to me, No Jumper is one of the only platforms in California where they love and they thrive off fucking like Cali politics. You know, he'll say some shit like this. No Jumper will be like, well, I interview rappers. If they're gang members, and then it is what it is. Nah, motherfucker, you know that you love that shit. You want to stir the pot, and you're posting clips to actually start these wars like you were talking about for financial gain. You think that's some vulture ass shit?
I mean, the Adam 16 definitely is one. And shout out to Point and Shoot for making all those videos about him and his show and how, you know, fake they really are and how they just exploit things and sometimes even make things up.
Damn.
But it's crazy because now you see, it's sad because you see a lot of the raza people that podcasters, they're like, man, they're willing to fucking give it all up for just to be on his show.
Yeah, I think a lot of people would be lying through their teeth if they I mean, to go on that show, cabron, and I know what you're talking about, because 16 and shit, and I fucking don't even know that much about that, man. Is there paperwork on that?
Oh, yeah, there's articles.
There's paperwork on the 16.
There are articles. Now, paperwork is tough because the paperwork, this whole thing happened in Canada. So I don't know too many people that can get that kind of stuff, but
I get it. Yeah,
but the pictures, the articles are there, and it just explains. I think he even said, "Well, I didn't know."
He admitted,
but yet you're hanging out with a bunch of 15, 16-year-olds.
Okay.
Even one of the artists that was under him said it also. If memory serves me right, and he was 15 at the time.
Shit, man. Yeah, no.
But yeah, he's definitely a culture vulture. And you know what? I give a shout out to WAC 100 because he is using that motherfucker as much as he can. He is milking Adam for as much as he can. And he should. Because if he's going to culture vulture, at least somebody there should use all his resources and take as much as they can.
Yeah, the only thing that I have an issue with is mixing the street stuff with the podcast. Is these podcasts that want that shit? Oh, you want that shit? Huh? I'm from here. I'm from there. You want that shit? You don't really want that shit. It just tells that you ain't really fucking been through it. I mean,
and this is why I like his new show that he's gonna come out with, the Exposers, because that's one thing he points out that people that talk about the streets but aren't really about it, he's going to expose them. And we've seen that he's exposed several people already.
Like who already?
Like, well, the time where he went to go visit a house personally 3 times.
Personally, I think Banda World is one of them.
And then that's another one. And then another guy that says he's from a black neighborhood and was talking all this smack about him, and he exposed him as a guy being on Grindr.
Okay, I think I know what you're talking about.
He's exposing all these people that talk so hard about the streets and exposing them and showing us who they really are.
One of them, a blogger, I call him Stay Puffed. I don't know if you know who he is. He's Stay Puffed. Ghostbusters.
Oh, you mean this guy? This guy. Hold on, let me see. This guy right here. This is what he
leans
does.
into the camera like this. You don't want this and all kinds of stuff. And he's like, I'll drop my address. And I'm like, no, you won't.
No,
you will not fucking drop your address, because these people, it's kind of like we're talking about the social media influencers in Mexico. They don't fucking know when the line gets crossed. This motherfucker is doing 100% for views, clouts, likes, and hearts. And he's safe in another state filming fucking these videos in his bathroom. You don't want the problems, man. You don't want the problems, man.
And he can't come to LA for sure, because everybody's gonna recognize his ugly ass. And
now he's gonna do a video that he's going to LA watch. That's gonna be his content. Because I actually fucking think I call him Stay Puffed.
You know what? And that's crazy though, because the last guy that did that talked so much shit about LA gangs and just said the most he could. This guy literally came to LA thinking that after talking all that smack about, the hoods here, he was going to be all right. Next thing you know, his girl goes live at a Roscoe's Chicken and Waffle that everybody in the hood knows, and shows that he's there. And what happened to that guy? 30 minutes later, they took him out in front of his kid.
Yeah, and people were throwing things on the girlfriend. Yeah. Like the theories were set him up and why drop alive and all that. Sometimes I think the ladies are a little bit ignorant.
Yeah,
like to the street shit. Like if you're with a regular square girl, she don't know about the street shit.
But aside from the girl, this guy should never have talked about LA people, LA gangs.
Where is he from?
Yeah, I think he was from the East Coast or maybe even Texas. But you don't talk about LA hoods like they're nothing. There are very scary people here. There are very scary gang members that you don't hear about, and they don't talk about what they do. But they are here, and they will find you as soon as you step foot here. Yeah. There's that story about, who was it? Snoop Dogg. Somebody called Snoop Dogg to let him know, hey, I'm going to come. I'm just literally checking in, because he knows too many people that don't like him here. So he needs that LA backup, because he knows damn well that they will find him. Someone, a security guard, a bouncer, a chauffeur, they're all connected. There's a huge LA network where all these people know each other.
What do you think about the theory saying that Diddy tried to get some LA gang members to handle that business at death row with Tupac?
That wouldn't surprise me at all. That wouldn't surprise me at all. But
money move the needle? Does money move the needle?
That's a love triangle that I don't know if we're trying to get into.
Right. Him and his dirty ass shit that Bun B and Pimp C were talking about. But that was a theory that also came out there that no, he got at the Crips in LA and was trying to put a bounty on Tupac's head. You've seen those videos that are coming out. I mean, they do got that guy Keefe D in custody right now. The thing with Tupac, I think is maybe I think the environment and the people that he was around got to him as far as being an entertainer. And he was a great rapper and a great entertainer. Yeah. He comes from a revolutionist movement, Black Panthers and everything. But sometimes when you get exposed to certain individuals that are different caliber, different level individuals, you want to be you're trying to be Tony Montana.
Yeah.
And the guy that Tupac he clocked him, right? Tupac clocked him.
Yeah.
I think that guy, coming from a street point of view, Norbeez, street guys don't mind catching an L from another street guy. Fuck it.
No.
It was what it was, man.
Yeah.
Street guys don't mind getting packed out. Fuck it. I walked down the wrong street. I got packed out. Now I know I'm not going to go down that street again. There's certain things that street guys will take on the chin.
Yeah.
But I just got fucking hit and socked by a rapper who has no street ties whatsoever. I mean, of course, he's around Suge and all that, but I'm talking about who he really is, not from the street. He's a rapper.
Yeah. Oh, of course.
That is what hurts a street guy's ego the most. And that's why I think he said, I fucking can't go back to LA without handling this business.
Yeah.
What do you think?
I mean, yeah, it's facts. I mean, that's what it is. I mean, LA is a scary place. People don't realize that. People think that, people think LA, people think their cities outside of LA is just as hard as the one in LA. I would tell you right now, that is completely wrong, because
don't try it.
Because
don't try it. It's bad for your health.
These people out here, these individuals here, they don't play games. They don't play games, and they don't waste time.
But should we be mixing in the street shit with the podcast shit?
No, we shouldn't.
Why is that
we
bad?
shouldn't.
Why is that bad? Why is that bad for your health?
It's bad for you. It's been proven already once why it's bad for your health, for a certain individual that,
you're talking about the podcaster that dropped his location and got unalived?
Yeah, bro.
That's the one that Alvin tried to get an interview with, and then later lied and said he was never trying to get an interview with him. We were trying to get an interview with him, Alvin. So that's true. Again, there's lines that you just don't cross. Again, we're talking about Stay Puffed in the bathroom, leaning in again.
And he's one of those guys. He's one of those guys that if he makes that mistake and comes to LA and goes live and shows where he's at, I wouldn't want to be that guy.
Because you don't want to be the guy stirring the pot. Like, you're not even fucking here. You don't breathe this air. This is not your soil. You don't step here. Why do they stir the pot, these out-of-staters?
Bro, because they really think it's just a movie here. They really think these things aren't happening here. He doesn't understand that guy. This guy had money. This guy was rich. And because of the mistake his girl did going live and showing his location, they came up within 30 minutes. They found him because everybody knows LA. Everybody from LA, knows the streets, knows the locations. They have no problem getting to them.
Where's that Roscoe's at?
I think that one's over there by
what city? Compton?
No, it's somewhere down there in South Central. It's on I want to say it's on Slauson Street.
South Central then.
Yeah, if you get off of the Slauson exit on the 110 and head east, you'll eventually run into it. But this individual, that guy from Michigan, he already made a mark to himself. Yeah, I'm pretty sure he already upset quite a lot of people. I wouldn't want to be that guy. I wouldn't. If I were that guy, I would, throughout my entire life, if I'm going to keep talking like that, never come to LA.
Never.
Because
he made a video and he said, I'm like, you motherfucker, you want to cross some lines? You're fucked. And go ahead and continue your thought. But he made a video saying, you're not a Sureño. In your fucking closet, in your bathroom in Michigan, you want to talk about people from California? Be careful, man. Go ahead.
Yeah. Oh, we got a correction and from Michael S. It is on Manchester and Maine.
Oh, okay. That's the Roscoe's Chicken and Waffles that the girl checked into and then got riddled with bullets right after.
Yeah, but that's a good an example of, when you talk about LA people.
Street shit.
LA people.
You want street shit to happen to you? Talk about it.
It's going to happen. It's going to happen. You're going to get what you asked for. And I'm from LA. I'm from LA, born and raised, and I don't play with that stuff. But when I see these people that play with it, they get visits. And they still want to keep going at it. It's crazy. It blows my mind. I mean,
yeah.
But I won't. I won't shed a tear or even have sympathy when what happens to them because of what they're doing happens to them. If you know what I mean.
Yeah, because whatever you say can and be used against you. It's just like the cartels in Mexico. Shit, the same day someone says something, an influencer on TikTok, IG, or YouTube, the same day, that evening, he's not alive anymore. That's some crazy shit, man. It doesn't.
That happens, man. That's how it happens.
That's how serious it is, man. So
and
just
LA
be
is
careful.
no different. LA is no different.
Yeah, you didn't grow up in it. You didn't grow up around it. You don't know how to navigate through the moves, the movements, or the politics. You don't want none of this, man. I know we know you want likes, but you don't want these problems.
No, you don't. You really don't. But yeah, there goes that subject.
The last comment.
Any other? Okay, so I figured not too many people want to have the balls to call, huh?
Yeah, no, it might be one of those nights. People are just sinking in right now. We got over 100 people in the chat, man. We appreciate you guys. Everyone that's tuning in from Run the Fade, everyone that's tuning in on Chicano Street. Don't forget this Friday night, Norbeez might join us, but I don't know. You might be producing or you might be working.
I might be working. I probably am working that day.
Okay, so 6 o'clock, we got the Immigration Town Hall happening right here on Chicano Tube. The Immigration Town Hall. I don't know if we're going to open up the phone lines, Norbeez, but it's a topic we need to address this because the next 4 years is probably going to be rinse and repeat, same shit on the media. And so we need to know, how is this affecting the raza? How much is it affecting? Because I think that's been a little bit misconstrued as well.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, because a lot of the people that came in during the last 4 years are single men backpackers, not even from this fucking continent. So when people say, okay, the raza, we need to distinguish between la raza that's really affected and anyone else. Now, some people want to be like, Mikey, you're a piece of shit because you don't think anyone should come to the country. Guess what? Let's talk about it this Friday night. We're going to talk about the impact. I want everyone with a voice is invited. This is what we do. We don't shut no doors on Chicano Tube, okay?
Yeah.
We open the door as long as you can have a mature conversation. So that's happening this Friday night at 6 o'clock. I tapped in with the Brown Berets. Matter of fact, you know who liked the post too? Carlos Montes, one of the founders from the Brown Berets. So shout out to Carlos Montes, man. One of the founders. He was there. Him and David Sanchez are right there at the cemetery getting their ink with Mundo. Boom, and said, you know what? We got to take care of the community. No one else is doing it. Again, it was a different time, the 50s, the 60s. There was a lot of shit going on. Go back and watch that interview. Norbeez, I want to give you the last words of the night, what you got to say to the people, any upcoming projects. You've been busy producing as well. Give the last comments of the night to the people.
For the most part, I'm glad you're doing that on Friday. It's definitely a conversation that needs to be had. I mean, like I said, it's a very delicate time because I feel that we shouldn't repeat the same thing that we repeated during the Cesar Chavez days, where there was that division, even though somebody says there wasn't, and it was just for that. But we're all raza. We shouldn't say, well, he's not from here, and they shouldn't do that. What I feel we need is that we need to understand there's a situation that's happening. Like I said before in other shows, the people that are coming in, these are people that the United States owes a favor to. We owe them a favor because they helped us exploit their country, use their resources, and now their own people are taking back their countries and they can't live there anymore. So they're not coming here because they need opportunity. They're really coming here because they're going to delete them if they stay in their country or imprison them if they stay in their country. These are really people that helped us out. I mean, I know most people don't realize that part, that us, the United States, we use people to exploit their country. This is why a lot of people don't like us around the world. But these people that are coming from Honduras, Venezuela, Colombia, I think some Bolivians, these are all people that helped us control their countries for our benefit. Even in Panama.
Okay. And what do you think about some of those countries are socialist countries?
And that's the thing. Some of like I said, they're taking back their countries. They're taking back their countries and they're adopting a socialist system.
Democracy.
Like Mexico. Mexico is a socialist country. I mean, that's most people don't realize that, but Mexico really is a socialist country. They're for the people. And I know a lot of capitalist people, they don't care for that kind of talk because, a real capitalist, they consume and they take and they keep.
Yeah.
These countries, they just want to give their people, which is majority indigenous people, to have their voice, to have a say, to get proper education. And the ones that helped us out to make sure that didn't happen, we got to help them. We owe them. They gave up they sold out their country to help us out. So when they come here with an attitude that we owe them, it's because they're right. We do owe them. I mean, yeah, it's taking up resources, but we're a business. This country is a business. And those people helped us out to either have lower costs or have more resources. We take from their country. And this is really a small price to pay compared to the amount that these people helped us control their government.
Damn it. Norbeez giving his dissertation right now. Since he might not be on the live on Friday night to the immigration town hall, we're going to have that at 6 o'clock, man. I invited a lot of people, dozens and dozens and dozens of people, even though we can only have 10 on the panel. I'm going to probably do like a little clubhouse and figure that one out. And maybe people will just get in, for a couple minutes and come out. But I do want, it's something that we need to talk about, man. Let's address it. The elephant in the room. Okay. Let's get it out of the way. The ICE raids. Who's getting deported? Who's getting targeted?
Yeah.
I mean, it's funny that within the last couple of years, Norbeez, did you see ICE raids all over? How many times did you see ICE raids over the news in the last 4 years?
Oh, it was insane, man. It was insane, and it was disgraceful as far as for the Biden administration that allowed that. Disgraceful for Governor Newsom, that it has been quiet about all this. Wow, so many of the Democrats in California their lips are sealed. They're not pointing this out. They're not talking about it. They're not going on interviews. What's that word? Like putting it down. They're not what's that word that they use?
What is it, cabron?
Not condone it or something. Is it like that? To not condone or discondone, some shit like that. But I don't see any of these Democrats speaking against it. Obviously, we're not going to see Republicans speaking about this either. But just realize that this is definitely one tactic that the Biden administration is using to interrupt Trump's coming of power, because the Biden administration already stopped, the production of our food source by allowing ICE to go up there and start picking up people. He's already affecting us through our food. This is what they're doing with their power. Before they leave, they're going to make sure that we pay a price for not keeping them in power.
Create a shitstorm.
Supported by the governor, supported by the city councils, the board of supervisors, the mayor, every single Democrat in California supporting this.
Norbeez, do you think we should abolish ICE?
Yeah, ICE shouldn't exist. It really shouldn't exist. Honestly, it shouldn't. I mean, are we ever going to have border control? I don't think so. We're never going to have that. It's too difficult. We're surrounded by two oceans. There's so much land. The North isn't even that protected. I mean, there's so many ways to get in here. What we really need eventually come to a truth and say, look, let's all just come together. We're not going to stop you guys from coming in anymore. You guys come in, but we're going to go down there also. We're going to spread out. We're going to make these two land masses, North and South, become a greater thing in this world. But obviously, we know that's not going to happen because the U.S. is a capitalist world. we're here. We are a country that consumes. We don't like sharing. We like keeping as much as we can, and we like a lot of it. That's why our military bases are all over the world.
We're gonna talk about this on Friday because we're gonna talk about immigration, the town hall at 6 o'clock. I mean, it's true. Farm workers, the backbone. The Braceros program right after World War II, where mataron un chingo de Americanos, and they couldn't even do the blue collar job, so they ended up doing the Braceros program, and what was supposed to be 2-3 years of the Braceros program turned into 20 something years.
Yeah.
And people didn't mind it because of the money, but again, they kind of fell through. I think a lot of on the delivery of what was promised. They had them sleeping on the fucking outside of the city under trees and tents and shit, and they couldn't even, get decent housing, etc. So all of these things we're going to talk about at the immigration town hall. We don't duck, we don't dodge, nada over here.
Yeah.
Last comments, Norbeez.
Well, that's one of the reasons why I did wanted to point out these countries, because at the end of the day, people don't see these countries. People see Mexicans. It's always Mexicans. It's always us. We're the ones that get the shit end of the stick. They're never gonna see these other countries. I don't know how that even happens. I think it might be the media not mentioning it and just letting people come up with the assumption that it's Mexicans, because they don't say where these people are coming from. They're just saying they're coming from Mexico.
And the countries are getting ready to get again, we're going to talk about mass deportations. Another thing at the town hall at 6 o'clock on Friday, some of the countries are preparing to receive their own back. That's the majority of them are not Mexican, so it's not going to have that much of an impact on Mexico. But I wonder how they're going to do shit, who they're going to target, how all of this comes to line. I would actually love. I have a cousin, and he's a border patrol agent.
Yeah.
I would love to have someone like that on the panel. I would love to have someone on administration on how shit works on the panel. Someone that really has the inside view, maybe at the detention centers. So I invited a few dozen individuals. One of them, Nino America. Okay, because we want to balance shit out. Okay, Nino America is the kind of individual I think he's gonna say deport them all.
He's like the opposite of risky business.
Okay, so we're gonna have a risky and we'll have a Nino America. We're gonna have different views on Friday, but let's deal with the propaganda. Let's lay out what the misconceptions and the myths are.
Yes.
And just so people know that, I mean, at the end of the day, immigration and deportations are gonna happen no matter how much picketing is done.
Yeah, man. Because I mean, think about it. Also, isn't it odd that they're only going after the Mexican pickers, but they're not going after the Venezuelans, the Hondurans, the ones that Biden is inviting to come here? They're not going after them. They're just going after our Mexicans that are coming here to work, not live off of us, but actually put in work.
Mm.
Isn't it odd that they're only going for them, and you don't hear not one story of ICE getting all the ones that are going through these what do you call it? The wagons, or what are they calling them? The people that are coming in as a group. They have a name for it, right?
The caravans.
The caravans, yeah. They're not going after any of the caravans. They're not even stopping them. They're just going after the people that are literally working to feed us, our family, and our country. They're going after our food source instead of going to the ones that are literally getting invited here by this president called Biden. It's crazy.
Well, I want to disagree just a little bit. I think the first ones on the pecking order are going to be the people that are incarcerated.
Okay.
They're going to deal with the criminals.
Yeah. Well, I'm talking about right now, the ones that are getting picked up right now.
Yeah, and that's been shown as well. So, I mean, it's true. We're going to talk about this on Friday at 6 o'clock as well. We're going to talk about the gaslighting that happens. Like Norbeez, you saw the case with the young girl, Laken Riley. What did you think when you saw about that case? She went jogging from her college dorm, and the guy had been thrown out of the country a couple times.
Yeah.
He came back recently, and then he unalived her. She fought for 17 minutes. Does that what did you think? What are your thoughts when you see an article like that?
When I see an article like that, I mean,
guy was from Venezuela. He unalived a college girl. How does that, is that gaslighting? It doesn't affect the raza because he wasn't raza. He's from another country. What crossed your mind when you heard that? Obviously, it's an unfortunate tragedy.
It is an unfortunate tragedy. And that's pretty much, unfortunately, like I said, we will never have complete control over these borders. As much money as we throw into it, we will never have that kind of control over it. And people are going to get in, and a lot of them are good, but you're going to get the ones that are bad too. And I wish I could say, we could do this or we could do that. But honestly, I'm pretty sure in the last 50 years, we have tried everything that we can possibly do. I mean, we have rocket scientists, we have engineers, we have the best of the best, and we still can't figure out the whole border.
Or is it a 4-year political pond that we got to have hanging like a carrot in front of the pinchy donkey? Like, you got to have, because people didn't even know this. I had Chicano State of Mind, one of my brothers. You know him? He's a photographer too. Chicano State of Mind.
Yeah. I think I did one interview with him.
Okay, Pete.
Shout out to him. Shout out to him.
He didn't even know about the DACA proposal under 45 if they would have funded the border wall. He didn't even know that. But that's an example of how they say they want to help the raza. Some politicians do. They want to help the raza, but they would have given full citizenship. All you had to do is fund the border, but they're so hard pressed on their agenda, not the people's interest, their agenda. This is what politicians do. He was surprised. He said, bro, I just did another video with him not too long ago. He was like, I didn't even know. I looked that shit up. You're right. 1.8 million people could have got citizenship under that bill, but they keep it hanging like a carrot because every 4 years we got to divide about it.
Well, bro, this is what I tell people. Look, one of the reasons why we're never going to have control over the border is because the United States needs a workforce. It needs a workforce. Well, again, one of the reasons why we use these people so that we can take over their countries and run their system, because we want to make sure the people there have such a shitty time in their own countries. They're going to want to beg and work their way to come here so that we will always have a workforce. Now, could you imagine if all the pickers decided we're not coming back to the U.S. anymore? They can pick their own fruits and vegetables. They can get their own.
We're fucked. We're screwed.
We're screwed because that's what's gonna. But we don't let that happen. We'll let some in, and then we'll come up with a cause to maybe push them out. We'll rotate them, but we'll always have a workforce that would work for pennies on the dollars, so that we could enjoy lower prices at the grocery store.
Hey, if there's a fire, just send the CDC prisoners.
There you go. But for the most part,
$1 a day.
None of this is an accident. We need a workforce. We've been working for years to make sure their countries suck so their people could come here and work for the U.S. for pennies. This is what's going on. If people need to step back and really look, how are you, after all these decades, you guys still let the same thing happen? Because we need a workforce. The workforce gets old. They gotta go back, and we need new, fresh people to work those jobs of the older people. We cycle people. We use people. This is the United States. We don't like to pay full price. We love a good discount. If we could get it for free, even better. But this is what the U.S. is, and this is why a lot of countries in the world don't like us, because they see this part, that we use people. We destroy countries and their government system so that they could only think about the American dream and come here.
Norbeez putting on the tinfoil hat for a second right there, letting other people know. Hey, this Friday night at 6:00, Immigration Town Hall. Anyone that wants to voice their voice can go ahead and jump on audio or video. Norbeez, ya nos rayamos otra vez, cabrón.
Yeah, man, it was a great time. It was a great conversation.
Another great conversation. Another great episode. Last words, cabrón.
Just a shout out to the live chat. I see you guys. I see some of you guys roasting me. I see a lot of people that are talking, are putting out facts, fact checking me, wondering where I'm getting my facts. Like we always say, like me, Mikey, Marvelous, Tony, we all say, you don't have to believe me. Do the research yourself. Check it out for yourself. Find out the truth for yourself. You don't have to believe me. You don't have to believe Mikey. You don't have to believe any of us out here. Do your own research. Find out the truth. And when you find out the truth, spread it. Spread it. Because we need more of that than all these people creating diversions, creating weird fucking dramas because they need views.
It's crazy when you say that because distractions are everywhere. You know what I mean? It reminded me of when 46's son, remember, he got busted with the cuete, which he forgave him for cuete and dope and all kinds of shit. He pardoned, even though he said he wasn't. At the same time, there was the ocean Titanic, the one that blew up under the, remember, the submersible, that one.
All those rich guys
Ocean
imploded.
Gate happened. Yeah.
They imploded, yeah.
And then they arrested the same week. That happened the same week. And then Andrew Tate got arrested the same week that the president's son got busted with a bunch of dope and cuetes. And no one was even talking about it because they were talking about the oceanic, Titanic, submersive. And they were talking about Andrew Tate. And when the real shit was going on, there's a lot of distractions. Gente, we're out. We appreciate everyone.
I think we got a super chat.
Oh, we got a super chat? That's right. My boy, 805 Plumbing and Drains. He says Norbeez is the leader of the Taco Bell cults.
We meet every Friday. We get about 20 Taco
Bell
the family packs. And
Are these Taco Bell anonymous people that are addicted and they can't stop? Or
yes.
They're addicted to Taco Bell.
we believe in a cultural higher power.
Oh man, 805 Plumbing and Drains with Club America Las Águilas. Hey, happy New Year to you, my boy. I'm still saying happy New Year tonight. We'll see you guys on Friday night at the Immigration Town Hall. Tap in, join the live if you want. I'll be dropping the links. Great conversation, Norbeez. I appreciate your time again, cabrón.
Too, man. Thank you for inviting me.
Ándale, cuídese mucho. You guys, we are out on a Wednesday night, but remember what I always say, mi beautiful linda raza, hit that like on your way out. Remember what I always say. In the end, all you got is the memories. We appreciate you guys. We're out.
Bye.